Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second half of the border battle. This time, the junior squads from Gridiron SA and Gridiron Victoria facing off here in South Australia, just outside overlooking of beautiful Adelaide and the Royal Adelaide Hospital just overseeing. This is Nicholas Priest. We'll be joined by Phil Hurton, and we will be looking at kicking this one off shortly. The game between the South Australia Sharks and the Gridiron Victoria Eagles, the junior competition, coming up shortly. And this should be an interesting one. Again, with the COVID situation, it has been a while since we've had interstate action, and finally looking forward to getting this one back underway for the juniors. Can the home team overcome the numbers and size advantage of the visitors? We'll find out. Or will the rust of not having been able to play give South Australia the chance? So final warm-ups, final huddles, and we are looking at getting underway here.
Check,
we're doing
check,
our final
checks.
Officials are out on the field, and we're just about ready to line up for the anthem. So, getting things all queued on up there. We go now live to Phil Hurton for the introductions.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Karen Rolton Oval for the border battle between Gridiron South Australia and Gridiron Victoria. The junior battle about to begin. We ask that you please rise and remove your head attire for the playing of our national anthem. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and good luck to both teams.
So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, once again. Gridiron South Australia and Gridiron Victoria are happy and proud to present you the border battle between the Sharks, the junior Sharks of South Australia, against the junior Eagles of Gridiron Victoria. If you missed the senior competition, it was a doozy, down to the wire, safety, but time running out. In the end, as Gridiron Victoria triumphed over the Sharks 16-8. This time, potentially different matchups. Where South Australia had the numbers advantage in the first matchup, it will be the home advantage only for the Sharks here, as Victoria has turned out in numbers on the junior side, bringing together a very strong and sizable junior squad. And this will be a tremendous obstacle if the Sharks are going to overcome and make this one as thrilling a ball game as we had before. This is Nicholas Priest, joined by Phil Hurton, coming at you live from the Oval and bringing you the action here today as we are conversing for the coin flip. And Victoria will call.
Just to give you the captains this afternoon for South Australia, they include number 14, Thomas Tono for the Sharks, Kai Cooper, number 1, number 36, Noah Duffy, and number 5, Ben Keane. For the Eagles of Victoria, 3 captains elected for them today. Includes number 54, Nick Navarra. Victoria will be kicking, defending the hospital end. Their other captains, number 77, Hunter Lemua, and number 84, Cooper Marr. And it's always great to represent your state. Special congratulations those chosen to be the leaders as the captains this afternoon. Should be an exciting time. We've seen the current crop of representative players do battle, and now we see the future of the sport right in front of our very eyes.
Turnabout from the senior competition, as in this round, Victoria will be kicking off. South Australia Sharks to receive. So once again, Victoria ready to kick things off. Ruade McDonald ready to kick things off for Victoria. Angel Valverde and Theo Ashley back to return for the Sharks. Kick is up, bounced off the hands of the up back end, back at the 5-yard line. Long way to go, and bringing out to number 18, about to the 18-yard line, so narrowly avoiding disaster and almost made it back out to the original starting spot were the Sharks. But big mishandling and chance for things to go disastrously wrong, but instead, Sharks starting off their offensive dreams from the 18-yard line.
And there are some mighty big boys on the Victorian defensive line.
That is true. The size difference up front will be one of the stories of the day. Can South Australia get things going side to side? Run off tackle and bounced out wide, turned up out to about the 20-yard line, so gain of 1.5. Positive play to start things off, but not quite as dramatic as might be hoped. But a little bit of a gain on the ground is something to write home about when you are faced with the monstrous Victorian front.
Famous South Australian name in at quarterback, Chris Lieberens. Previous carry by Ben Keane of the Sharks. Gain of 1, 2nd and 9. Lieberens in the shotgun. Fires it forward, gets a receiver, and that's a gain of about 7.
Out to about the 26-yard line, so 3rd and 2 coming up.
Fraser Murray on the reception.
But when looking at the size talent of Victoria, there are a few guys who just, sight alone, I might be calling home and having some scholarships being offered. to play internationally, as this is a sizable unit. 2 receivers on the left, 1 in the up back. Quarterback keep up the middle, but driven back. Number 6, Jackson DePrince on the tackle, along with Hunter Lamua making the contact there. Number 16 on, that's Angus Causey, to likely punt it away for the Sharks here.
Well, you knew
3 and out.
Causey had to play for South Aussie.
Oh, well. This is the name of the show, isn't it?
That's it.
So, high snap, but fielded. Punt is up. Very high, but kind of caught by the breeze. Will bounce short of the 50. Out of bounds at about the 49-yard line, and that is where Victoria will start things off inside the bonus side of the field.
24-yard punt. I'll tell you one thing that's different between the seniors and the juniors, Nick, and that is the noise level emanating. They're a bunch of fired-up kids right now.
Oh, absolutely. The enthusiasm high on both sides, as once again we're looking at live in the warm-ups. Number 50 at the right tackle for Victoria was looking tremendous. He needs to put in his mouth guard, though, number 50. Screen out wide, toss to number 7, who cuts back across the field and almost into the open field, managed to be dropped right at the 10-yard line. But again, as this is junior competition, it's even more important than usual that everybody keep their mouth guards in during the field of play. And that means you, number 50 for Victoria.
This is a public service announcement. It's interesting. David Nielsen, number 4, the quarterback. Nielsen, a famous Australian sporting name for another American sport. The Clan Australian manager in baseball and all-star major leaguer for the Milwaukee Brewers back in the day. But right now we've got a Nielsen at quarterback for the Junior Eagles. He's throwing to Joe Nielsen. I wonder if they're related. He's off to the races, and he will not be stopped. 38-yard touchdown, Nielsen to Nielsen. And the Eagles strike early, and the Cobra Kai strike first and strike hard, no mercy.
Absolutely. It was pretty much identical to the previous screen, just the little wide receiver bubble screen. This time, instead of cutting it across field and going across town, this time just straight up the sideline went Nielsen into the end zone. And so now we'll have our first look at the bonus situation for the juniors here. Do the Victorians have a kicker, or will they be going for 2? Looks like we may have a kicking situation. Absolutely. Something we lacked in the entire game for the seniors. The juniors starting things off with a kick. 6-0. Kick is up, but missed it to the right. So, flag down after the fact, though. And this one was well after the fact, so we may be having a little bit too much enthusiasm from these young men early on.
Well, it does have to be channeled.
It's the youthful exuberance that we're looking at here.
Not quite Friday night lights. Sunday lunch.
Well, it's Friday night somewhere. Flag gets waved off. But just having a quick chat that we will be keeping a tight lid on things, as definitely don't want to let this one get out of hand or let tempers flare. These are young men, big futures ahead of them, both on and off the gridiron. So always need to make sure that everyone is protected and feeling represented. So back to kickoff once again for the Eagles. Royd McDonald. Returners back at about the 10-yard line. Fielded, driven back to about the 6, fielded and making it way upfield. Gets to about the 20 before tries to reverse field, but no, that is just not so. Last forward momentum push was made at about the 18-yard line. Then it was ruled out of his hand, so that's where South Australia will start their second possession. Once again, at the similar starting field position of about the 18-yard line. Very different ways of getting there this time. That one looked like it had the potential to be a big return, but perhaps eyes a little bit bigger than.
Yep, might need to tuck in that undershirt, I think, but Ennis Stanley with the tackle for Victoria. Sharks first and 10 from their own 18.
Two receivers on the right, one in the up back on the left. Quick toss out wide, incomplete. Looking for a little release to the back out of the backfield, but incomplete. And that's one of the things that you will notice, since this is likely the first interstate competition for a lot of the men on the field here. Just when you are by far one of the best players on the team and in your league, you can have somewhat of an inflated idea of what you're actually capable of. But when you're looking at good against good, all state against all state, the math kind of changes. Two receivers either side, high snap handled, but under pressure immediately and dropped at about the 14-yard line.
Dawson Alcores with the sack for the Eagles. Number 75.
But yes, the difference when you are just conditioned and used to being the very best on the field and able to get away with more things may make you make more risks on this higher level of competition. Two receivers on the right, one in the up back on the left. Dropping back. Ball pushed downfield, picked off at the 30. Wrapped up and dropped is number 7. Now number 2. That would be Noah Hunter coming up with the interception. And once again, Victoria set up with primo field position. First turnover of the day by either side. Starting this one just outside the red zone at the 22-yard line.
So thus far, it's going tickety-boo for the Victorian Eagles, just as they planned it.
Again, language and exuberance can be
Time out to South Australia.
a
This
bit
is
of an
their first
adventure
time out for the half.
the first interstate competition for some time.
Glad we don't have a mic anywhere near the sideline.
Just keep the microphones way up here and keep the ref's microphone muted during the play, and we should make it through without a contract strike. So first and 10 for Victoria coming up after the timeout. A little bit of a staff shortage for South Australia there. Captains on the defense doing the count and informing the sideline with enthusiasm that they were a man down. First and 10. Victoria has been favoring the screen pass early. And why wouldn't they, with two big plays out both of those? Big, staggered, and interesting stances from the Victorian linemen. Taking their time. South Australia playing very close to the line. Number 4 rolls out to his left. Looking downfield, throws crossbody, has a man alone in the end zone, but cannot get back to it. Was looking for a flag, but that one was thrown so short that any interference was ruled to be incidental.
There was contact made before the ball hit the turf. I can only suggest that the officials have ruled that it wasn't going to be catchable.
Yes.
But Zach Vitry was the man intended for in the end zone. He was
one of those rare uncatchable because it was short passes. So, different formation, 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left for Victoria, 1 in the backfield, along with Nilsson. Flag down immediately, and this one will be, early indication is a false start, so 5-yard penalty for Victoria.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 7 to Victoria. 5-yard penalty, replay the down.
Francis Leon called for the infraction. So 5 yards to the negative. So after 2 plays that resulted in a first down and a touchdown on the first drive, incomplete and penalty for the first 2 snaps for Victoria this time. Again, 3 receivers on the right, staggered, 1 out wide, but not set yet. Now there they are. Lofting up, looking for that exact same play as before. Incomplete, off the hands of Joe Nilsson. Had some very nice loft on that. Kind of number 67 of the...
And in some ways, that's where the breeze can be a challenge in those finesse pass situations. Had that been thrown into the breeze, would have probably just sat up very nicely, as we have another penalty against the Eagles, which is sending them further back.
Yes, in this case, when you're South Australia, you have to wonder whether or not to decline and take the loss of play,
but it was
or push them back. But if it's going to be one of those 5-yarders, I'd honestly just decline. But in this case, it's a 10-yarder, so may as well take it.
2nd and 22.
1 safety back deep for the Sharks. Empty set for the Eagles. High snap, rolling out to the left. Quarterback keep. Has big bodies in front of him and tripped up, landing at about the 23-yard line, so almost back to the original line of scrimmage. Big run there of about 14 yards.
Number 52, Mills Asiata, was running free downfield, just come near the guy and I'll block you.
Yeah, it reminds me of my experiences playing football in this age, playing cornerback and seeing a man 3 times my size pulling alongside and just heading straight for me. It's something that you don't really forget. And making memories here today in Gridiron, South Australia. Oh, straight up the middle. We have pressure. Flag down. Almost off the hands. Looking for Zach Vitry on the throw, but flag down. And this will likely be a hold. So Sharks having the decision to take either the 10-yard penalty
number
or
79 of
make it a 4th
Victoria.
down.
That penalty is declined. Now 4th down.
So 4th down and call
Interesting
it 10.5.
position of the field. We know Victoria have a kicker, and there was nothing wrong with the length of the extra point attempt before.
And they have the benefit of the wind with them as well.
39 yards. Or do they punt?
But with the electricity of the
And
Victorian
right now,
offense,
I think punting it is. Karen Sakara. Apologies for stuffing that up. Sakara.
no one back deep to return for South Australia. Number 1, Kai Cooper. Ooh, very nice angled kick and handled at the 10. That will be a teaching moment. Those footy instincts just kind of kick in and just kind of like trying to mark it, but you don't quite have the protection that you have in footy for that sort of thing. I'm not entirely up to date with my rules on that, but if he touches it and it's recovered by Victoria, that would be a live ball and very good field position. So definitely something to discuss on the sidelines that, well, maybe just let that one go.
Well, had he have left it go and it bounced, he could have been down at the 1. The Vic special teams were there to cover it. Interesting play with the short real estate. 1st and 10. They say fumble.
Issues with the snap and dropped immediately. That one had no chance as Christian Barsick coming along the end unmolested and sack, meaning that once again South Australia will be operating at an issue, but flag down on the field. We've been seeing a lot of grabbing thus far early on.
Offside against Victoria. 5-yard penalty, replay the down.
And that may be the reason for the quickness of Barsick coming around the end there. got a little bit of a head start, so 5 yards to the better for the Sharks. 6-0 is the score. One receiver in the up back to the left, two receivers on the right, one in the backfield. Ball held high and lofted downfield, almost picked off. Number 12, Vickers Murphy with the defense there.
OJ Beckham has really inspired these one-handed grabs, hasn't he?
Oh, well, he probably watched the senior game and watched Andre Benjamin come up with a couple.
So 3rd down, 6 yards to go for the Sharks. The yardage thus far courtesy of the penalty.
Lieberman's under center. Victoria shows pressure. Handoff is met and nothing doing. Will be a loss of just about all of that penalty yardage. A little bit of a discussion about what down it is.
Certainly 4th.
Far judge is signaling 3rd down. So a little bit of a miscommunication between the down marker and the officials, but we've got that straightened out. 3rd and 10 from the 9. Throwing downfield, complete, snagged and picked off the dirt, down at about the 19-yard line. Will be close. Now marked very close. Indication is the 1st down from that sideline there.
And this is one of those situations where
Near
one
official says
has
1st down, and he generally has the rule. Sure enough, 1st down, first down of the day for South Australia, out to the 19-yard line.
Usually where the spots are a little bit off, they'll go with the closest official. Kind of makes sense.
19-yard line has been home of the Sharks for their first 3 possessions. But this time, throwing across the body, way open field. Number 14 breaks a tackle. Thomas Tunno down the sideline to almost midfield. Tremendous, biggest play of the day for the Sharks. See where they mark him out of bounds. Mark him at about the 48, so about.
No question about that being a 1st down, and that question from Ryan Kelson has sparked the Sharks' offense into life. 29 yards on the reception.
Or near enough to the proverbial sheep station. One in the up back on the left, 2 receivers on the right. Throwing over the middle. Once again, similar little out route. Number 14, Munno. Up the sideline, Munno. One man to beat. No, could not get by him. Stepped out of bounds. Almost very heady play by number 14, Thomas Tunno, as he stepped out of bounds just at that time where if the Victorian player made contact, a flag would have been in advance of 15 yards. Heads up play, and South Australia is clicking on those little out routes.
Yeah, they're finding some space under the defensive backs. Everyone's trying to chase a quarterback, leaving a big hole in the middle of the field. 1st and 10. They'll go to the ground, and Ben Keane avoids the first. He'll get to turn the corner.
Flag down.
Flag thrown. Round about where he went out of bounds.
There were
Gain of a couple. Flag pending.
Wavings by a Victorian player that would tend to indicate communication to the official that, hey, I'm being held. But you tend to see those whether holdings are evident or not, but that will be the instinct. We'll see what the actual call is.
Holding, 26 of South Australia. 10-yard penalty, replay the down.
Sure enough, holding is the call. And that is one of the issues when those plays get extended.
Timeout to Victoria. It's their first timeout for the half.
So each team taken 1 timeout thus far. South Australia starting to click a little bit, but that holding penalty will mean that this 1st down will be a 1st down and 20 instead of the 1st and 10. So having a little bit of a chat about this. Defensively, Victoria wanting to have a chat. See if they can combat those crossing routes a little bit.
This is almost like a basketball timeout where South Australia have caught them on the hop on a couple of plays out of nowhere. The Vic defence was dominating up to that point. And so maybe just to settle, remember your assignments. Get back to crushing them in the backfield.
It's really an underused tactic, particularly in the first half of games at this level, where just take a timeout early, settle everything down, make sure that everybody is familiar with their positions because, again, juniors, not a lot of time. It's not like we have the headset microphones to communicate on this level here, so it's just different levels of communication, so definitely worth taking the time out and making sure that everyone is clear on assignments because assignments are so crucial on the defense here at this level and in the sport as a whole. So, South Australia on the right hash. Number 99, Kelton Ryan, is your wideout way over on the near side to us. 2 receivers on the right, 1 in the up back on the left. Looking for the out route, but up the middle instead. Gains a nice chunk of the penalty yardage back, straight up the middle. Biggest running play of the day for the Sharks is Lieberens. So looking at a second down and a bit more manageable, second and 14, maybe second and 15 instead of the first and 20.
I think that's with the emphasis on the bit.
Yes, indeed. Well, you take what you can get.
Second down, 14. Lieberens has some time to get the pass out. And it's
Ben Keane.
It's very much
the reception.
South Australia are getting this just by using some speed to avoid the approaching defence. I'll think of the right term for it in a second. Ben Keane getting some more yardage back to the original line of scrimmage, so a bit more manageable. Third and
Once
10.
again. And again, in this end of the field, it's going to be 4 down territory. So getting down to a third down and 10 coming from the first and 20 isn't the worst because, again, you are going to be taking 4 shots. Faking the handoff, keeping, and under pressure. Ball comes out, but that may be an illegal touch. Flag down, and yes, depending on the number of the fellow who collected the ball there, that will be an illegal touch.
I think that was Davis Gardner, number 70. I'll stand corrected. It was a number with a 7 in front of it. Might have been Lawrence May, 74.
But again, we do see some interesting things. Out wide is number 99. We'll have a little bit of a conversation here. Either way, it's a negative play.
Well, they have to rule, that, of course, that the pass was forward. Had it been backwards, you'd be allowed
Legal touching against South Australia. It's a loss of down at the point of the touch.
Yes, indeed. So illegal touching is the call. 1 in the up back on the left, 2 on the right. 4th and 17 for the Sharks. Chucking and unloading down the field. Has a man, but incomplete. A long throw. Had a man, but that is a tough one. About the furthest point on the field to throw. And did not quite have the arm to get it there.
Well, having been badly outplayed at the opening of the game, at least that has given the Sharks offense some confidence to go back on the sideline, have a chat.
And given the Sharks defense a chance to catch their breath.
That's the flip side. They need to take a breather because they were getting run all over the park. 1st and 10.
A break from the Victorian bulldozer. Victoria still up 6-0. High snap, but handled confidently. Looking down the sideline, has a man on the hands. Joe Nilsson with the big stretch and big momentum switch. And once again, Victoria is knocking on the door inside South Australian territory at about the 31-yard line. So the Nilsson connection has been paying big dividends for Victoria thus far. Empty backfield, 3 on the left, 2 on the right. Nilsson under pressure, fights his way off of 1, but manages to make the way to the 30, so gain of about 1. Original contact there by number 27 for the Sharks. So clock running here in still the first quarter. Starting to feel just that first hint of precipitation. 2nd and 10. High snap. Thrown downfield, has a man, and complete for the touchdown. Number 29, Ruben Edmonds with the touchdown. And just like that, it's a 2-score game. Victoria out in front 12-0 with the extra point yet to come. And once again, we have seen Victoria attempt the kick for the first time. Will they be heading that route again? So Noah on to attempt the extra point. Low snap, managed to get it up, but missed it off there. That one just had the timing thrown off by the mishandling of the snap. And anytime when you're a kicker that you have to make that little hitch in your step, it is very, very difficult to maintain that momentum. It's just a very practiced precision 1-2 kick. So 1-2 kick, but any throw off in that rhythm can be disastrous, and that one just did not have a chance because of the snap.
Still in the first quarter here, the border battle. SA again down a player. They've now got their 11.
So, counting up. 11 made it through hook or crook. That one will bounce through the end zone for the touchback, which means that South Australia will have their best starting field position of the day at the 20-yard line.
That's actually the first kick of seniors or juniors that's gone the full distance. Get an idea of the strong breeze we've got going from left to right.
That's true. Both kicks and punts. No touchbacks. The only touchback that we had was an interception in the senior game,
which proved very consequential.
Absolutely. So
All
first
right.
and 10 for the Sharks. Victoria, the Victorian Eagles out in front by 12 at the moment. But the miscues on the extra point mean that South Australia could potentially take the lead in 2 scores. Throwing down the field in traffic, picked off down the field. It's number 2, Daniel Cotter. Cotter breaking tackles. Cotter up the sideline. Cotter into the end zone for the touchdown, the pick 6. And just like that, the momentum swings heavily in the Victorian direction. Daniel Cotter. I believe that's his second interception of the day. And once again, Victoria coming on for the extra point. 18 to the visitors. Home team still yet to get on the board here in the first quarter.
3 touchdowns in this first period. And they haven't managed to do is now the extra point attempt. Chance to reset. Has
Kick
the
is
height.
up. That one looked better.
It is good.
And yes, indeed.
19-0 Eagles.
So once again, the hold really does make a difference there, as the hold was true, the kick was better, and that one gets Victoria up by 19.
Plenty of Cotter fans on the YouTube feed.
Hello to Daniel Cotter's family. We appreciate you tuning in. All Victoria so far. See if South Australia has worked out their personnel issues from the previous kickoff. Noah Duffy directing traffic. Kick is high, fielded at about the 5. Has a chance for a return here, but bounces off one tackle in advance of the 20 and out to about the 25. So I feel like I'm deja vu, but again, best starting field position of the day for the Sharks.
Yeah, and they need to. They've gone from a feast to a famine, a decent drive, to a pick 6 on the first play. But it's early days, chance to regroup. And see how much of this is a game and how much of this becomes an education by the day's end. Because for the senior players, sometimes that's their end destination. Playing state at a senior level might never win a championship, especially in Adelaide, if you don't play for one particular club. But juniors, it's all about the future, developing, learning.
Hands coming up there and just avoiding the face mask. Nice defense by Lachlan Hamilton. 2nd and 10 coming up for the Sharks. Second and 10. Quarterback keep looking to just flip out the option, but this one ends up on the turf and into the hands of Victoria. Number 2 once again. Having himself a game today is Daniel Cotter. If Daniel Cotter doesn't get one of the game balls, he's just going to take it.
That's as he's been doing most of this first quarter, which is making me begin to wonder if it is actually a quarter and maybe we're playing 2 halves. We'll get that checked out. Junior games tend to set up some different rules as the conditions require. Some leagues it's about number of players on the field. Some places it's the size of the field. And some it's how you structure your game time. Well, they're playing 11 aside on a 400-yard field. And right now it's the Eagles up by 19. 1st and 10. Nielsen at quarterback. Hands off on this occasion to the Vic sideline. Taken out of bounds, a gain of 7 was Francis Leon. That stops the clock.
All right.
Quarter time.
And that is quarter time. Okay.
So if you want action, we have had it here in the first quarter. 3 quarters yet to play. Victoria all over South Australia so far. 19-0 is the score, with Victoria knocking on the door inside the red zone once again. Can the Sharks get the stop? We'll be finding out shortly. So the option play from South Australia leading to disaster. Victoria now set up. Chains are not in the proper position, so we will reconvene. It should be about 2nd and 4. So, a little bit of a discussion about where exactly the down and distance was. Yes, should be 2nd and 4 thereabouts. So 2 receivers on the left. Now 3 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. Keeping it himself and trying to turn the corner. Has the first down. And big hit coming in late. Flag coming in late. And that will be half the distance. So David Nilsson getting the first down and getting a shot while out of bounds for his trouble. That one will likely cost them half the distance to the goal.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 15 of South Australia. Be a 15-yard penalty, assesses half distance, automatic first down.
So first down, goal to go for Victoria. So the chains can come down. Down marker needs to get into position. Marked at about the 5-6 yard line. 3 receivers on the left, 1 on the right, 1 in the backfield. High snap, but fielded, lofting up, high and marked, incomplete. Was looking for Cooper Mayer, but Theo Ashley in defense there. That one lofted up in the air and held on for quite a long time, but incomplete. 2nd down and goal coming up for Victoria. Victoria has those big bodies up front. Empty set, high snap once again. Quarterback keeps straight up the middle, and he's got it. Touchdown. David Nilsson. But we have an injured player down. That's Noah Duffy down now, having to be helped to his feet. So Duffy needing to be helped, escorted from the field. He will miss the play, but good to see him up and walking off under his own power. Will have to miss the PAT as due to the injury substitution. So Victoria will look to tack it on and add to the advantage. Currently 25 to the visitors. Once again, will be lining up for the extra point. Noah Hunter. Noah Hunter lining up. Again, poor snap, but this time Hunter just has to foul on it. So 1 for 3, but the snaps have been the story. So 1 for 4 on the extra point attempts. 3 of them actually got a boot to the ball. If you are in one of those Super Bowl style pools for this game, you will be in an interesting position, as we have all kinds of numbers that you don't tend to see in the scoreboard in senior competitions on the board here today. 19, 25. So once again, South Australia to return. This time kicking into the breeze will be Victoria. Raid McDonald. High kick. Bounces into the hands at about the 15-yard line. And nifty moves. Ball comes loose. But number 5, Ben Keane, retains possession for the Sharks. Once again, best field position of the day for the Sharks. Starting field position, that is. But electric run by Angel Valverde. Two receivers and the up back to the right, one on the left. Option coming back. This time quarterback will keep. Turning upfield. And wrangled down. Whistled down at the 41. But at the time of the whistle, the ball was almost in the hands of number 2, Daniel Cotter, once again. Already with a pair of interceptions and a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Has had number 2 a big impact in the game from that safety position. Looking to throw, under pressure, and dropped in the backfield down at about the 30-yard line. That would be Kyle Haynes on the sack, but that Victorian pressure finally starting to rack up. Loss of a bunch as we're looking at 3rd and 14 coming up. Need to get to the 44-yard line for the first down. Ball on the 30. 2 receivers on the right, 1 in the up back to the left. Having issues getting set is the out back to the original line of scrimmage to the about to the 35, but dropped Nick Navarra on the tackle for Victoria. Which means South Australia will have to punt it away. Timeout.
Timeout to Victoria. It's their second timeout for the half.
So the electric Thomas Tunno, who has been responsible for the lion's share of the Sharks' yards thus far, back to punt. Number 84, Cooper Mayer, was back to return for the Eagles. 4th and 10 from the 34. Not much thinking to do but to kick it away. But then again, Tunno may be thinking, time for a momentum change. See what we can do here. Kicking with the wind. High snap. Tunno can't handle it. Manages to get onto it and manages to get a kick away. That ball was touched. That ball is live. And wrangled by the Sharks. Tremendous heads-up play by Ryan Kelton to wrangle that, as on a punt, once that ball is touched by the receiving team, it is live, and that one was corralled by Ryan Kelton. Loose ball, and Sharks will have it inside Victorian territory for the first time today.
Show that play to the Americans, it'll blow their mind.
Thomas Tunno was lucky to get any kind of kick away after the snap, and unable to connect with it, managed to get a kick away. Looked like it was going to be about a 15-yarder, but was touched by Victoria. And Ryan Kelton come down with it. High snap. Under pressure, throwing down the field, has a man. Incomplete, was looking for Thomas Tunno. And all of the big plays of the game, the big positive plays of the game thus far for the Sharks, have featured number 14 in some way or another. So 2nd and 10. 2 receivers on the right, 1 in the up back to the left. Victoria playing a little bit off this time. Throwing over the hands and incomplete, off the hands of Ryan Kelton. Incomplete. But again, even looking at 3rd and 10, this will likely be 4-down territory for the Sharks, looking at their best field position of the day. Quite right. Best starting field position of the day for the Sharks, and that is to clarify. This play will be a big one. Can the Sharks keep the protection long enough for Liberans to look downfield? Oh, big play, and throwing at the feet of Ryan Kelton. I believe that's the first time I've seen a defensive lineman chop somebody. Hunter Laumwa punching into the backfield. So on 4th and 10, looks like South Australia will punt this one away. 2 backs spread wide. Low snap, kick is up, nice kick this time. Bounces into the hands of number 84, going up the sideline and shoved out of bounds by number 5, Ben Keane, but not before a nice return by Cooper Mayer. Pushed out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. So not the traditional way to give your defense a break, but two receivers either side, one in the backfield along with Nilsson. Nilsson looking right, Nilsson rolling right under pressure. Number 52 in pursuit. Number 5 bounces off, flag down in the backfield. That's going to be coming back. Likely the guilty party would be Armani Lamua, likely in this case. One referee almost chopping the other in the face.
Holding, number 50 from Victoria. 10-yard penalty, replay the down.
Anthony De Benedict's called for the hold. So that will cost Victoria 10 yards and push them back deeper towards the shade of their own goalposts. The holds were coming fast and furious early in the first quarter. Had a bit of a break, but now starting to rear its head once again here in the second quarter. 1st and 20. One safety back deep. High snap, but fielded. Almost wrapped on up. And two Victorian receivers in the same area just about played defense and corralled themselves. Number 21, Tom Martin, letting the Victorian quarterback know that he was there. But ball now on the 43-yard line. Marked in, whistled, ready for play. Two receivers either side, and once again, pressure. And once again, flag. And tackled at about the 45-yard line. Two flags down. But again, the pressure coming in through South Australia. Showing the quickness and the quick step, quick twitch, which is proving to be effective this series against the big-bodied
Holding,
Victorian.
58 of Victoria. 10-yard penalty, replay the down.
Kermans McGee called for the hold. Kermans McGee, that is. So, ball marked at the 33-yard line. We have timeout on the field. As the Victorians have a discussion with the South Australian officials. But getting into an argument with one of the country's most senior and respected officials is not going to be likely to change a lot of minds a lot of the time. So, 1st and 20 once again. Second holding penalty on Victoria for this drive. Two receivers either side. Once again, high snap, but fielded. Screen pass going back. That served Victoria very well on the first drive and serves them well here again, getting about 13 yards before being wrangled out of bounds. Big play. Karen Rolton with the reception and gain of about 11 is where they'll mark him out of bounds. Two receivers either side. Looking downfield, hand fighting, and almost big coverage there by Tainui Condor Evans. And we'll be looking at 3rd and 9. All kinds of hand fighting, but since it was both sides doing it, referees let it stand. Ball falls incomplete. Snap handled, looking downfield, has a matchup he likes, and managed to make a catch in traffic. Tremendous grab by Evander Thomas. Huge grab. Two bodies in the area, but managed to outfight both of them. And that was a sheer clash of wills that Thomas was not going to lose. First down, Victoria inside the 29-yard line of South Australia. Clock continues to roll here in the second quarter. 3 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. And the one on the right is way, way up top. Hand off up the middle, number 81. Destin Lafituanai on the carry. Second down and 9 coming up. High snap, well over the head. Quarterback has time, but way deep. Throws it away. Will it make it back to the line of scrimmage? It will not, so that may be grounding. So, for grounding, 2 of the 3 have to be true. The ball has to make it back to the original line of scrimmage. In this case, it did not. There has to be a receiver in the vicinity. In this case, there was. Now the question is, was he out of the tackle box? The tackle box is an invisible force that will go back as far back as it needs to be. In this case, looks like they will decide he was outside of the tackle box. So third down and 9 coming up.
Yeah, I think in the spirit of the rule, that's the right call.
Well, absolutely. So third and 9, 3 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. No, 2 on the right, empty backfield. Along for Nilsson. High snap, but this time handled. Nilsson keeps it himself, turning off to the right, has the first down. Number 29, Harley Botuik, making the force out of bounds. But Nilsson doing the work through the air, on the ground. A big performance by number 4. First and 10, red zone possession for the Eagles. They're leading 25-0 at the moment. Nilsson rolls, fires, almost picked off. Duffy would have been dreaming of a dash. Would have almost put him into a race with just David Nilsson in the area. But off the hands, incomplete. Victoria lives to fight another down. Second and 10. 2 receivers spread wide to the left. 2 on the right, 1 in the backfield. Hand off up the middle and met immediately. Harley Botuik once again on the tackle. Destin Lafituanai on the carry. Whistles are in, however.
Offside against South Australia. 5-yard penalty. Replay second down.
So offside penalty on the Sharks will cost them that tackle and keep the downs, making a much more reasonable down and distance for Victoria. It should still be second down, however. Snap handled, fired, and ooh, a big lick delivered. Zach Vitry with the catch. Tom Martin delivering the wood on the reception. So third down. Currently third down. down marker says fourth. Referees say third. Yeah. So we'll have a little bit of discussion about what down it is. And there it goes. So third down and 3 from the 12-yard line. High, low snap, and into the backfield rushes number 15, Theo Ashley and Harley Botuic, calling Harley's name quite a bit here this drive, dropping for the loss, and now it is fourth down for real. So, ball on the 15-yard line. Field goal team on for Victoria. Have had issues with the snaps thus far, but Noah Hunter ready to try and extend this to a 28-point. Again, issues with the snap and has to fall on it. Noah, again, had no opportunity to get that kick off. So South Australia remains 25 points in the rearview mirror from the Eagles. So first and 10.
One of the longer drives of the day. No points from it. Giving the South Australian offence a bit of a chance to regroup and work out how they're going to get some points on the scoreboard this afternoon. First and 10 from the 22.
Two receivers on the right, one in the up back to the left. Throwing out to the back. And wrapped up by numbers. Bailey Myers on the tackle. Angel Valverde with the reception. So second and 10. So two in the up back on the right, one on the left. Hand off. And met after about a 1 or 2 yard forward momentum. Ben Keane, tackle by Jackson DePrince. Timeout on the field.
2-minute warning, 1 minute and 22 seconds remain in the half.
So there's our 2-minute warning, 1 minute and 22 seconds remaining in the half. Looking at third and 8 coming up here. Decision time for the Sharks. How aggressive do they want to be? Two in the up back on the right, one on the left. And under pressure, looking downfield, but over the head of Kai Cooper, incomplete. So clock will stop and flag down, or not flag, but player down. Hunter Lamua down and possibly having his leg looked at. Hopefully it's just a cramp, but just getting that right leg looked at. Players on both sides sticking a knee as he gets himself looked at.
For those here at the Karen Rolton Oval, if you're feeling a bit peckish, there are some hot chips available. Nick, how would you describe your hot chip experience?
It was very nice. It was served in a cone. Don't normally get that, but it's an interesting experience, but quite nice, and very nice on a day like today where just being able to hold anything warm in your hands is nice with the wind just breezing on across.
The other option, which I had, was buttermilk chicken with some chili sauce, well, it was sort of a chili aioli and coleslaw.
Interesting.
Magnificent. And if you're looking, where can I get that? Upstairs in the bar area here at the Karen Rolton Grandstand.
All right. Number 77, Hunter Lamua, up and being helped from the field. So it looks like he is able to put some weight on that leg, so that is very good to see. Hopefully we'll be able to see him return in the second half. Tremendous effort by Lamua. And we'll certainly be hoping for a speedy recovery for him. Returning to the action. So, fourth down. Or maybe we'll call it third. Slanging out sidearm, almost Vince Young style, but incomplete. Intended for Fraser Murray. Incomplete, fourth down. So Victoria taking a timeout.
Timeout to Victoria. It's their third and final timeout for the half. 1 minute and 3 seconds remain.
So once again, Cooper Mayer back to return for Victoria. He'll set his heels on the 39-yard line. Thomas Tunno to punt for South Australia. Under pressure immediately, and he will be dropped. Victoria will get the ball with tremendous field position, looking to add to their current 5-score advantage. Kyle Haynes first to Tunno, but just a punter's nightmare is somebody unblocked coming straight up the middle. And yes, whatever the Victorian coaching staff had a word of behind that timeout seems to have paid off, as they got multiple people in exactly the right position. And now paying off with a first and goal from the 10. So a little bit of an issue with snap, but handled, keeping it himself, and ball comes loose. Ball may bounce out of bounds at the 10 or 11. We'll see where it's marked. Tom Martin on the defense there. David Nilsson dreams of doing it himself. Second and goal from the 11. Two receivers either side for Victoria, one in the backfield, along with Nilsson. Nilsson has to handle it with the left. Keeps it looking for the corner on the right and wrapped up at about the 5-yard line. Now they'll call it the 7. So Duffy on the tackle. Clock is running. Ball on the 8. And that will do it. So again, clock running.
Half time.
Makes the difference, and that will be the half. Victoria, the Eagles out in front, 25 over the home team, the South Australian Sharks. Yet to notch a point, but interesting momentum changes, turnovers really paying off in Victorian favor. Can South Australia keep the slate clean and pick up on those mistakes and get some points on the board? Or will Victoria continue to roll? We will find out here in the second half. We will be looking forward to joining you after the halftime break. Stay with us here for the border battle between Victoria and South Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back as we are about to go live. Officials are out and whistled on in, and we are about ready to bring you the second half of the border battle between Victoria and South Australia, our junior competition. The first game, the senior competition, was won by Victoria 16-8. This one is trending towards the Victorians as well, 25-0 at the half. But the Sharks made some stops late in that end of the second quarter, and will be looking to build on that momentum, and they will have to start off doing the big work as they will be kicking off to Victoria. Start things off there. Victoria looking to put it out of reach early. Thomas Tunno. Thomas Tunno ready to kick for South Australia. Checking his charges to either side. Cooper Mayer and back deepest for Victoria. Plooched up and will drop at about the 25 and roll into the hands of Mayer. Mayer rolling to his right, trying to set things up downfield. Tunno, or Theo Ashley rather, wrangling for him, but Mayer down the sideline. Mayer putting an exclamation point on it early. South Australia looking all around the grounds for flags, but none appear to be in the offering. A 71-yard return for a touchdown. 31-0 is the score.
The umpires are still discussing.
Mayer just keeping his balance, tight roping down the sideline and into the end zone for a game breaker. 31. Yeah, it looked like he might have been down, but looks like his knees may have never touched. Knees and hips and elbows are what need to touch in order to rule a player down. If he was on top of another body and none of those necessary parts made contact with the ground, he is still alive and was eligible to continue to advance. Extra point is up, but up through the uprights. 32-0 is the score now. Victoria out in front, in control, and starting things off. Yes, so now the only thing that will change is that the T will go to the other team, and South Australia will start on offense without Victoria having to run a snap of offense, but advance their lead a further 7 points. 32 points would be a bit of a record-breaking comeback. We'll go live to the replay now if you're watching at home. No, we will not. So, Kyle Haynes waving to his family. We see you, Kyle. Good job. Typical communication from South Australia, trying to get the right bodies in the right position to receive the kickoff. Kick is up, rolls a little bit to the left, fielded at the 20-yard line. Angel Valverde. Once again on the return, gets out to about the 36-yard line. And South Australia will take over, trying to break this shutout, trailing 32-0. 32 and 31 are magic numbers for comebacks in the sport. At the NCAA level, 31 points is the largest halftime deficit ever overcome. Overcome in the Alamo Bowl by the TCU Horned Frogs over the Oregon Ducks. Snap over the head, picked up by the running back and dropped immediately. Lucky that he held onto that. Kyle Haynes was waving to us earlier. Now he has something else to feel good about. Big tackle for a loss there. South Australia lucky they were able to maintain hold on the ball. We have been looking at a number of high snaps from both of the teams here today. That one proving very costly for the home team. Throwing out wide, was looking for those little out routes that were working so well in the first quarter, but have not been able to connect. Was looking for Kai Cooper, but incomplete. Bring up third and a long way to go. 3rd and 29. So, has time, looking downfield, has a man, but over his head, incomplete. Thomas Tunno had to do the full 360 for that to locate it, and that generally results in the ball falling to the turf. So 4th down, 3 and out for South Australia, as they will have to kick it away back to Victoria. Victoria taking their time to get lined up there. Lucky South Australia didn't try to steal a march. Kick is high. Mayer catch at the 38. Mayer making a man miss. Mayer looking for the sideline. Mayer looking for touchdown number 2. Fights, big hit does Mayer lay on that as he advances into South Australian territory. A 42-yard punt, 30-yard return by Mayer. Tremendous effort. First and 10 to Victoria. 2 receivers either side. New quarterback here for the half for the Eagles. And they'll huddle once again, a little bit of a sugar huddle. That looks like Marcel Pasquale. No, and again, miscommunication. 1-on-1. Kai Cooper with the tackle on Francis Leon. South Australian defensive line has been getting penetration, but have not been coming up with the negative plays. Hand off the left. Duffy was there on first contact, but instead it's Harley Botuic who has to bring him down, and this will be 1st and goal for Victoria. 32-0 is the score. Victoria looking to add to that advantage. put this one well out of reach. Ball bounces off the hands, but back into the hands of number 7, who has to change direction and finally gets taken down. Number 67 had his helmet come off, so he will have to check out for a play. Zach Lem in instead. But again, the snaps have been troublesome all day for both sides. That time not proving too costly. Second and goal from about the 11. Again, issues with the snap, but slinging out there and intended for number 29, Ruben Edmonds. But ball not ruled catchable, so no flags. Third and goal coming up. Communication coming in from the sidelines there of the Sharks. Hand off tackle. Breaks the tackle, but manages just flag down. Francis Leon was looking to turn the corner, but dragged down short. Fourth down would be the call, but flag on the ground that we will discuss.
Legal block in the back. Gets Victoria. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. Replay the down.
So 10 yards is the toll for Victoria from the block in the back, putting them back to about the see where it ends up being spotted. Looks at about the 15-yard line. Again, Victoria looking to extend their lead. Currently still theoretically a 4-score game. Pass thrown behind number 7, but still managed to ring that up. Liam Wade, Kai Cooper, and company all in on the tackle on there as we're looking at fourth down. And once again, Victoria bringing on the special teams unit to attempt the field goal. And this one would push it out to a 5-score lead. And flag down as we'll do this one again.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 64 of Victoria. 5-yard penalty. Replay the down.
So 5 yards back, try it again. So 38-yard attempt. Theo Ashley back in the end zone in case this one doesn't have the distance. Did have the distance, but did not have the direction, was pushed just a little bit to the left. No good. So South Australia gets the stop. 32-0, still the score. Victoria out in front. All Eagles thus far. South Australia still looking to break the shutout. But it has been difficult against a tough and opportunistic turnover creating Eagles defense. 1st and 10, this one coming from about the 24-yard line of South Australia. 2 on the up back on the right, 1 on the left. Hand off of the middle and met immediately. Dawson Al-Karashi on the tackle. Loss of 1. 2nd down and 11 coming up. Two in the up back on the right, 1 on the left. 1 in the backfield. Pump fakes, little screen pass, got him going one way and managed to get some ground going. Kai Cooper. Daniel Cotter and Lachlan Hamilton on the tackle. So 3rd and 5 coming up. Elvis Carter getting off the field. He managed it before the snap. 1 on the up back to the right. Throwing over the middle. And that little crossing route to Tunno was the most consistent weapon for South Australia in the first half. Ty Henry and Caleb Lafituanakai on the tackle. 1st down, South Australia. At about the 36, 37-yard line. Trouble with the snap, but picked up and manages to make something out of it. Bailey Myers on the tackle. That one looked like disaster, but managed to come into actually a positive gain. Pickup of 3 on the carry. We'll call it a direct snap. 2nd and 7. 3 on the right. Sharks running option. Pitch comes in late, but picked on up and driven down at about the 43-yard line. So again, Angus Causey on the carry. Setting up 3rd and manageable. Approaching midfield, so barring disaster, likely 4-down territory for the Sharks. Two in the up back on the left, 1 on the right. Quick throw out, screen, but through the hands, incomplete. Was looking for Kai Cooper. But Lieberman's unable to connect. So 4th down. Tunno will go back to punt. Mayer back to receive. Big, high, end-over-end kick handled by Mayer. At about the 18, Mayer evades 1, evades 2, evades 3, and dances up the sideline before Tunno himself has to take him out. Some pointing from the South Australian sideline, thinking that Mayer may have stepped out of bounds, but Mayer has had good luck with that sort of thing today. 47 yards on the punt, 36 on the return. Net gain of 11 yards. So first down and 10. Quarterback keep. Duffy in pursuit. And wrangled down by Tom Martin. Martin came flying in. Martin and Duffy have both been all over the field for South Australia here today. Marcelo Pasquale. Quick toss, false start. This one will be run again, but 5 yards to the negative for Victoria.
Prior to the snap, false start gets Victoria. 5-yard penalty, replay the down.
So 3rd and 16 coming up. No, 2nd and 16. Quick toss, but slipped out of the hand of Pasquale. Incomplete. 3rd down and 16 coming up. So 3rd and 16. 2 receivers either side, 1 in the backfield. Snap a little bit out wide, and once again, Pasquale just slings it out. Sidearm, but incomplete. 4th down now coming up. Theo Ashley back to return the punt for South Australia. Number 15, Wade McDonald to punt for Victoria. Timeout, Victoria.
Timeout to Victoria. It's their first timeout for the half.
Victoria did call a timeout on special teams when they were going to be setting up to return a punt, and as a result, they managed to get a block on. In this case, likely just trying to get everything set up. 4th and 16, up by 32. Not much point in trying a fake here. But will South Australia attempt to do some of the same and try and maximize the pressure that they can bring on this? See if they can set up a short field. Ashley back to return. High punt. Waved off. And will be down at about the 15-yard line. 34-yard punt into the wind, so not a bad exchange there for Victoria. As the 3rd quarter winds down, South Australia looking at a hole that would be historic to dig themselves out of. If you wonder why there hasn't been much movement up the middle or attempt to run the ball up the middle from South Australia, all you have to do is look at number 74 for Victoria. and you will see why that has not been on the menu. Quick slant thrown, looking towards Thomas Tunno, incomplete. Second down and 10 coming up. But Victoria has controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and they have collected the turnovers. And that, if you can do both of those things, you will be victorious much more often than not, no pun intended. Under pressure, number 99 flushes out. Ball batted up and into the hands of Ryan Kelton. Fortuitous tip. Kelton ends up making something out of nothing. Ty Henry was providing the pressure, but Lieberens got it away and through hook or crook got it into the hands of one of his receivers. So 3rd and 1 coming up. But that will be the last play of the 3rd quarter. So coming out of the 4th quarter, we'll be looking at a South Australian 3rd and 1. Can South Australia break the scoreless streak here in the 4th? 3 quarters with that 0 hanging on the board. The outcome may not really be in question at this point, but can South Australia manage to get on the scoreboard? We will find out heading into the 4th quarter. Tremendous effort by both teams. South Australia now working into the wind. They'll be doing it with 2 receivers on the right, 1 in the up back to the left. Lieberens under the shotgun in more of a pistol formation. 3rd and 1 coming up, waiting for the whistle. No one back deep for Victoria. Straight up the middle, pounding forward for the 1st down is Angus Causey. First down, South Aussies, courtesy of Causey. 1st and 10. Option, pitch out slightly behind Causey, but Causey manages to wrangle it, but is dropped in the backfield at about the 23-24 yard line. Loss of about 7. That slow developing option has just not been paying off, as the Victorian pursuit has been immediate. Victoria playing with just 1 safety back deep. Now they are working with 2, but just the number of people that they have rallying toward and near the ball, with the corners playing up tight. Lieberens throws and completes. Complete pass, gain of 1. Holding flag likely, though. Tremendous effort by Lieberens.
Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 62 of Victoria. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So unsportsmanlike conduct on Victoria. It means that South Australia gets out of being behind the chains and will instead be looking at a first down. Ball now at the 39-yard line of South Australia. Chains need to be set. And we are back underway. First and 10. Lieberens throws off the hands, incomplete. That's the sort of thing that really turned the tide in the senior game. Just balls out of the hands of South Australian receivers into the hands of Victorians. And that time, South Australia lucky it fell harmlessly to the turf. And they're looking at second down and 10. Two receivers and the up back on the right. One on the left, low snap. Lieberens pitches out quick. Stiff arm working down the sidelines. Big gain on the ground down to about the 45-yard line. Angus Causey, tremendous run. That stiff arm is going on the highlight reel. .46-yard line, first and 10, but yes, one of those moments that, no matter the outcome, will be remembered by the young man here. Three on the right. Was looking like was expecting the option, but again, that low snap just Bailey Myers on the tackle. And back inside South Australian territory go the Sharks with a loss of 6 on the carry. Now loss of 5, so second and 15. One in the up back on the left, two on the right. One in the backfield with Lieberens. Lieberens under immediate pressure. Lieberens throws underneath. Complete to Tunno. But nothing going there for Tunno that time, as Kyle Haynes wrapped him up immediately. But on the completion, the clock will continue to roll. They'll say he picked up a yard, maybe 2. So third and 14. Ball on the 49-yard line, back into Victoria territory. One in the up back on the left, two on the right. Lieberens pushes it. Has a man picked off. Picked off at the 35-yard line. Returned out to about the 39. Number 12, Joe Nilsson. No, not Joe Nilsson, but number 12, Oliver Vickers Murphy on the interception. Out to the 39-yard line, and for all practical intents and purposes, that will likely settle this one. South Australia may get another crack or two, try and put points on the board, but Victoria will be looking to run this one out. Up the middle, Duffy. Rushing into the backfield on the blitz there. Destin Lafi-Tuanai had no opportunity as Noah Duffy was there immediately. Throws downfield with time. Slung down. Number 21, Tom Martin on the tackle. Cooper Mayer with the reception. We've been calling Mayer's name plenty here today. That time manages to get back to about the 38-yard line. So 3rd and 11 coming up. Empty look. Quarterback keep. Turning the corner, getting away from Duffy, but being escorted out of bounds. By our anonymous number 80. 4th down, Victoria will likely have to punt this one away. Now Victoria keeping the offense on the field here for 4th and 8. No, all kinds of motion, and this one will end up being 4th and 13 instead.
Prior to the snap, false start against Victoria. 5-yard penalty, replay the down.
A little bit of confusion on both sides there. South Australia had 2 men back to return, so Victoria had the numbers, but Victoria didn't have the agreement on what was actually going to be happening, and as a result they will take a 5-yard penalty and have to kick it away on 4th and 12. Wade McDonald gets the punt up just over the fingertips of number 67. That one waved away and will be South Australian ball at about the 25-24 yard line. 38-yard punt with no return as Theo Ashley waved it away. 25-yard line, so 75 yards between South Australia and the scoreboard. Will likely have enough time to see this drive out to the completion. Victoria showing pressure. South Australia straight up the middle and wrangled down by the big bodies up front. Hunter Lamua, who we saw at the end of the first half, go down with a leg injury. So wonderful to see him back up and at him and making the tackle there. Angus Causey back at the line of scrimmage and no more. 2 receivers in the up back on the left, 1 on the right. A little bit of a fake, naked bootleg, and just behind Ryan Kelton, who he was looking for. Bit of a run pass option where Lieberens could have kept it himself, instead looked downfield. Coverage was still there, but the throw was just a little bit behind Kelton, and Kelton couldn't make the adjustment. 3rd and 10.5. If you're on the Victorian sideline, you'd call it 3rd and 11. If you're South Australian, you'd call it 3rd and 10. Near enough. Ball comes out wide, and Lieberens is wrapped up immediately. 62. Bailey Myers just came through, straight through the line, and that will do it for the possession for South Australia. So 4th and 20.
Yeah, with Lincoln Myers in the seniors and Meyer here in the juniors running amok defensively. You can see why South Australians used to prefer John Martins.
High snap, this time handled. High kick that will die at about the 34 and gets a big Victorian roll to about the 31-yard line. So not a lot of net on that, as that punt took a big Victorian bounce. So Victoria with the commanding advantage. See if they can run the clock out here. Two receivers either side, one in the backfield, along with Pasquale. Flag down, and we'll do it again from 1st and 15.
Prior to the snap, false start, 58 of Victoria. 5-yard penalty, replay the down.
Caramans McGee called for the penalty. And when you're an offensive lineman, having your name called by the announcer is generally not advantage. Ball is down, ball is loose, and ball is recovered. It's still loose. Fighting over the possession. See who is exactly on top there. Who has possession at the bottom of the pile? Victoria giving the favorable points. South Australians on the sideline. So the Victorians on the field were pointing, the South Australians on the sideline were pointing, but the Victorians had the better view. So chains should not move, guys. It's not 2nd and 10. So yes, we'll reset the chains. It should be about 2nd and 21. Unless they're ruling that South Australia had possession, and then it would be 1st down. But I don't believe that they did. So we will move the chains back where they were. So 2nd and 21. Victorian ball at the 36-yard line of South Australia. One in the backfield with Pasquale. Pasquale throws it out. Once again, Cooper Mayer. Flag comes in very late, very high. Thrown from the back sideline.
Holding, 13 of Victoria. 10-yard penalty, replay the down.
So Karen Sakara called for the hold, and so 2nd and 21 will turn into 2nd and 31. Chains continue to remain where you are. So ball now at the 44-yard line. Once again, if you are joining us from Victoria or overseas, our oval today is right next to the beautiful Royal Adelaide Hospital, recently completed. But that ambulance isn't for anything too dire. It's just par for the course there. Pasquale keeps and steps out of bounds. Gain of maybe 2 on the carry. So 3rd and 27 coming up for Victoria. Three receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Pasquale keeps it himself and will be wrangled down hard at about the 37-yard line. 2-minute warning.
148.
So 1 minute 48 seconds remaining. So if Victoria can get a first down, this one will be in the range of being over. South Australia showing pressure. Punt gets away, will bounce and roll down and be down at the 6-inch line. Just Theo Ashley leaving that one, but did not go into the end zone as he was expecting. That one just had the perfect amount of touch. So coming out of their own end zone will be South Australia this time, as they look to, again, make the most out of these remaining 1 minute and 40 seconds. Pump fake, picked up and picked off into the end zone. Hunter Lamua coming back from the injury to put the exclamation point on this one with the interception return for a touchdown, a 1-yard interception return. And I'm surprised Lamua gave that ball away from anyone, and he didn't just put it in a crate to take back to Victoria with him. So, Victoria going for the extra point. 38-0 is the score. Noah Hunter on to attempt the extra point. Raiden McDonald to hold. Again, issues with the hold, and again, no chance for Noah Hunter to put ball to boot. Oh, now we go back. McDonald will kick this one away. South Australia will get another offensive possession, this time likely in advance of the 1-yard line. Kick is up, will be handled at about the 16-yard line. And straight up the middle, nice return out to about the 36. goes Theo Ashley. Nathaniel Forby in at quarterback for both that last possession as well as this one for the Sharks. First and 10 from the 35. Victoria showing pressure. Issue with the snap. Picked up and dropped at the 29-28. They'll mark it at the 29. Clock continues to roll, so this will likely be the last possession of the game. So snap, option, keep by the quarterback. Nathaniel Forby on the carry. Get some of those yards back. Third and 12. Clock continues to roll. Throw behind the receiver. Was looking for Thomas Tunno. And that will do it. So the border battle on both the morning and the afternoon for the doubleheader end up in the favor of Victoria, but tremendous effort from South Australia. So, for Sam Furler, 180 Creations, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube if you're just joining us. For Phil Hurden, and for myself, Nicholas Priest, thank you so much for joining us for the border battle. Doubleheader between South Australia and Victoria. Again, Victoria is victorious here. 38-0 is the final. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope that you've enjoyed it. And all the best. We hope to see you again for all future South Australian gridiron action. Looking forward to the cap off to the beginning of a regular season. Let's get it going. Enjoy yourselves and have a good day.